Alright, Shalom, or praises to Yahweh, Basham, Yahweh Shai, Basham Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, salute to bros, teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. I want to touch on this real quick, and this is going into prophecies, man. And I'm going to bring a couple of scriptures out, but before I do that, I want to go right into this and talk about a bill that's been put through in the UK to do with you protesting, and I'm going to go right to the point. Before I do that, I want to say that they were protesting about this bill, protesters and stuff, different groups. I can probably show you some of that, but there was different groups in the UK protesting for this bill, to not get put in place, and it had to go through, the different um, chat procedures to get in. And obviously they knew that it was going to take away protesters' rights. But the thing is it just went in, and when it went in, there's nothing, and I'm going to show that, but there's nothing. No one's talking about it, and it's not been spoken of since all the protests that they were doing 5-6 months ago. Big, massive protests. It just came in just like that. Now it came in, and you had the Queen's speech, and you had this Prince Charles. The Queen wasn't there, so you had Prince Charles. They took her throne out. She usually does his speech and all of that, but they took her throne out. So they took the throne out that she usually sits on and all of that. And Prince Charles, is his son, if I'm not mistaken, but he did the speech. Um, I got, I forget this. I forget so much stuff, man. You forget who's who sometimes, man. But anyway, what I want to do is let me read this. It says police crime sentencing and court bills, and I'm gonna definitely bring out the scriptures. A whole bunch of scriptures coming to the mind. It says from overcrowded prisons to endemic racial disproportionality, there are many pressing issues across the criminal justice system which need comprehensive, urgent readdress. The police crime sentencing and court bills purports to empower police and courts to take more effective action against crime and lead to a fair justice system. While some of the aspects of the bill are welcome, such as the expansion of the use of video technology in hearings, the explicit reference to the best interests of the children with respect to remand hearings, and the raising of the threshold for children to be remanded in custody. Justice considers that the bill would not meet this aim. On the contrary, several of the bill's core proposals pose a significant threat to the UK's adherence to its domestic and international human rights obligations, while also lacking an evidential basis to justify their introduction. All right. Now, what we're seeing is the rights of the rights. Basically, you ain't got no rights. They call it privileges, really, and they're taking that away because we're coming into that draconian police state, world police, NWO, New World Order police state, and they're doing stuff over in the UK. They did that global thing. They're doing the global stuff, and they got their avenues of how they're doing it over in the UK. So I'm gonna stay on top of this. Now, what I want to do is read the point here. It says, part 3. This is the main point, and I'm gonna build around this. It says, increased powers for police to impose restrictions on peaceful procession, assembly, and protest, which would expand the circumstances in which police can impose conditions on a range of activities. For example, religious festivals, community gatherings from Notting Hill Carnival to night fireworks such as those in Lewes, football matches, LGBT alphabet pride marches, vigils, remembrance ceremonies, and so on. So it's going to put restrictions on peaceful processions. Check this part. The bill also removes the need to knowingly. So everything can come. It can be so broad. Now there's another document I got which says it could be a one-man protest. So here you're thinking, oh, it's gonna have to be a massive thing. No, they say it could be a one man. They could put a one man with a placard, and I can show you. They can put the restrictions on one man. So you gotta understand where this is going. It says the bill also removes the need to knowingly breach police police conditions. Let me read that again. The bill also removes the need to knowingly breach police imposed conditions in order to commit an offence and introduces a broad statutory offence of public nuisance with a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. These changes risk breaching the rights to freedom of expression and assembly and the requirement for legal certainty. So what I'm trying to what's going to be shown here right now is that this is actually in place. This is in place. This since it come out, nothing's been said on it. There was protesting against it and all of that, but since it's come out, it's been you've heard nothing. Why is that? Because it's in. Okay, and I've been looking up different sites and different studies on it, and I've got more to look into because some of the sites don't really touch on the imprisonment that you can get. Now I'd found out about the imprisonment because I was looking it up and I was watching the news and I was watching some live stuff and some talk shows and debates about it, and they were asking whether these people should be locked up and all of that, and the people were calling in. So the sites that are not listing the arresting that can happen off this, I mean that's a joke. Now I'm gonna go into part 4 in this, which will go into some other stuff. But what I want to do is quickly hit one or two scriptures on this and show and tie it in with the scriptures here. So let's read Revelation 12:12 quickly. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." And that's what they're doing, man. There's a lot of stuff going on over here. We're seeing the destruction of the monarchs, not the monarchs, the politicians in the system, and all this democracy stuff or whatever they want to. We're seeing the destruction of that because all they keep going on about over here is that Boris Johnson and them. Let me get their pictures up. All they keep going on about is this Partygate, where basically all these politicians were gathered together and they were all getting drunk. When everyone was in lockdown, they were all getting drunk. They were vomiting on each other. They were getting into fights. They were doing all sorts. There was, passed out over tables. And this is Boris Johnson. So they were saying they were going to fine 100 of them. But check this. The conclusion of, it says Partygate, Sue Gray provides Partygate report to Prime Minister. The conclusion of the Met's separate inquiry saw a total of 83 people receive at least one fixed penalty notice, each for attending get-togethers over 8 dates. Overall, the police force issue of a total of 126 fixed penalty notices. Pressure grows on Boris Johnson after Partygate report. And I'm not going to focus on this because this is a distraction. Look at this. Partygate is a political scandal in the UK about parties and other gatherings of government and Conservative Party staff held during the COVID-19 pandemic, or I should say the Mad Dog, 2020-2021, when public health restriction prohibited most gatherings or several lockdowns in the country. So I could click on that. But they were partying, and you got the pictures here. So, basically the whole country's in uproar against these politicians. But what they got to understand is this is all getting destroyed. And I've got some stuff I can go into, and maybe I'll have to split it up into other videos because I want to make this short. But we're noticing there's a lot of involvement. The Queen's, she's removed herself from the public. Now, when they had the speech that she did, what was supposed to do, they were saying, well, she was ill or whatever reason. And then you had Charles read out this, and he read out a couple of draconian bills. Now, another thing that they removed is or are removing is the Human Rights Act, and they're replacing it with something called the Bill of Rights. So that's a whole nother video, which I could have linked it with this one, but I want to focus on this protesting and how it, it affects everybody, man. Here it is, a religious gathering of 5, 6, whatever number. They can impose restrictions. They can impose times, which I'm gonna get to. They can impose times on it where they can say, well, you know what, you got to start and finish on this time, and if you don't, you're getting locked up, or you're getting fined, or you're getting this, or you're getting that. That opens up the door for that. What we're talking about here, where we know that they want to come against the scriptures, and they know they don't want us teaching, they don't want us prophesying, and that bill really goes after your rights, but it really comes after the prophets, so they can get the prophets off the corners. Okay, now I want to bring another scripture out before, and let me read a quick one, and then so this is Revelations 2:9. It says, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So the devil is going to come down on what the teachers and the prophets, and throw them into jails, into these prison systems, concentration camps. And how are they going to do that unless they come down with great wrath and impose them decrees, them draconian legislations, them draconian style legislations. Okay, there's a couple of scriptures you can go into, but what I'm going to do is let me go here, go back. Let me go here. So what I did, right, is I put in the police crime sentencing and court bills. Now, the first video, TLDR News, it says, end of protests in Britain. A controversial police crime and sentencing court bill. So that was a year ago. So the people were in an uproar when it was being mentioned and it was going through the different talks and whatever. Right? And what they said, end of protest. So this is a year ago. So, this is they're passing laws in to justify it. So when your ass gets grabbed up, you're like, oh, what? Because even in one and the other article I got, they say in the report that you don't even have to know. You don't have to know it. They can just do it, and that's how it works. You can't say I didn't know. You're still gonna get grabbed up. So we got a year ago, James Bryan on why he opposes the Pcsc. Okay, so I'm going to call it Police Crime Sentencing Courts Bill. 4 months ago, what the proposed new police crime sentencing bill means for protests. Now, I watched that video and they didn't really go into too much details. And that's, David, and it's a short thing. So here it is. These videos, 1 year, David Lamb, you got Jake MPs in there. Police crime sentencing courts bills. So this was passed in April, January, February, March. I think around April. We just hit June now, and there's nothing recent on it. So this has just got in there, and nobody's talking about it. I wonder why. So they had protests 5 months ago. This is before it come in, and they were calling it "Kill the Bill." Protesters clash with police outside Westminster. Um, I could play that. Um, Let me play it.
Okay, team marketing, it's time for creative review, the day we've all been waiting for. It looks like the agency already...
So here you have people, pretty much, it's that Extinction Rebellion. You got these certain, and they were what they used to bring this in, because these environmentalist peoples, and then a lot of those movements are set up, man. You got that Greta Thunberg. I'm not even gonna go into all that. I've done videos and that. I'm gonna go into that in this, but you got a lot of people that are set up, um, but when you check it out, to police state bill. That's what it says on the placard. Stop the police state bill. Um, when you check this out, I was gonna say, man. Um, Damn, kind of slipping my mind here, but it kind of slipped my mind what I was gonna say on this. But well, like I'm saying, it's come out now, and this protest was before it had come out. They didn't want it out, but it just come out. And it's out there now, and now you're not really hearing nothing about it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go to another source, read something quickly for you. Okay, it seems like this page is gonna not make me. Okay, what are the Kill the Bill protests? And I'm gonna get to the point. Is this the one I want? Let's see. I want to get to the point. So here it says the protesters are angry that the bill would allow police to impose conditions widely seen to mean restrictions or outright bans on protests if their actions cause serious annoyance to surrounding community, organizations, and businesses. And that's broad. It's just like with the public order offense, that was pretty broad. If anybody says, "Oh, you've caused them alarm or distress," they can turn around and say, "Well, we got to lock you up because what you've said is caused alarm and distress." This, I don't know, the laws are very touchy over here in the UK. Okay, now what I want to do, it's not the report that I wanted. Let's see. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to find the report where it mentioned that one person protesting. No, this is the .gov site. It's not the one that I sent. I don't know where it is now. I don't know where it is, but I found one where it mentioned it applies to one person as well. So just to let you know that if I find it back, I'll bring it back up and talk on it. They're talking about stopping searches as well. They're talking about stopping searches. So I'll probably do another video on it, get all the rest of the relevant information, just to bring this out as it is, just so you know what's going on anyway. Out here in the UK right now. And I'll show you that. The policing bill, what happens now? So a lot of these, and that's part 4, it says it includes a clampdown on protests, sweeping new police powers, and would criminalize Gypsy, Roma, and traveller communities' way of life. The bill would hit these communities already affected by over-policing hardest, particularly young black men. There's a lot going on with this, and this is in, because what they're saying now, you got Irish travellers and stuff like that all over the England, UK, and they're in, you know, Ireland and whatnot, Scotland, and they basically live off the grid, man. They, you know, they kind of park in fields, you know, they live, and they, you know, they ain't, you know, they live off the grid and stuff, basically, man. You know, they got trades, they can do stuff like that, but they're not in the system, and you know, they're not in the system. So, and you don't see them. They're not in, you know, they're not walking up and down the cities and all that, and you know, they come through and you know, they do what they gotta do. Now they're saying that because where they'll park up, you know, because you got you know, common law rights and all that. Basically, you know, you can park in the field, but they'll tell you to move on and give you a notice, and then you'll move in a certain amount of time. But you can go somewhere else. Now, what they're doing through this is saying they ain't going to be able to do that. And you telling me that ain't New World Order martial law? And a matter of fact, they're going to lock down these cities. Let me get that. See, I knew this. I was trying to make this video short, which I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and close it out because I want it to be shorter. You know, so we can get watched. Second Ezra 15 and 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So they're going to lock down all these cities. You can't go from one city to the other. You can't go here. You can't go there. They already did that. And that's what they're planning to do. Complete control. They don't even want you to be off the grid. So there's a lot that's going to come down the pipeline. We can talk about more of that in some other videos here. Now what I do want to do is go here and show you. Let's try it here. And Lord willing, I'm going to do a live version of this and do a long one and go deeper into this. Okay, so Lord willing, I'll do that.
My lords and members of the House of Commons, Her Majesty's government's priority is to grow and strengthen the economy and help ease the cost of living for families. In these challenging times, Her Majesty's government will play a leading role in defending democracy and freedom across the world, including continuing to
So this
support.
is why I'm going to do a longer video. You see, the devil speaks with a forked tongue. You know, he's poisonous as the poison of a serpent. But his words are smoother than butter. It's in Psalms. Because here he's talking about democracy and freedom. But in the same speech, he mentioned they put forth that bill. That you know what I'm saying, and so that bill's active now. And oh, it's not active. Well, it is. Let me show you if it's. Let me show you it's active. Oh, before I do, it says over the last 12 months, we've seen a huge amount of opposition to the bill from across society, with over 800,000 signatures on our petition, more than 700 academics calling for the bill to be dropped. It's a lot, and over 350 charities signing a letter against the bill. It's been opposed by parliamentarians, former senior police officers, and 3 UN special rapporteurs, but it still went through. And he just mentioned it, so they just put that through. So this was prior what's happened so far and all this. But this is why I'm saying that every time you look this up, you're getting information that's going into what's not going on, but what is going on. Did the police crime and sentencing bill pass? It was passed by the Houses of Parliament on the 26th of April 2022 and received royal assent on the 28th of April 2022. It's in. So all that, well, yeah, there was the vote to remove some of this and it was delayed. No, it's in. It's in right now. It's in. So this is what the devil does, man. He puts things in and you wouldn't even know it's there. Because no one's talking about it. And that's part of your media. They control what you see. If everyone was in an uproar, now nobody knows that it's in or not. I'm going to get a quick scripture on this. And this is why I'm going to do a longer video on this. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, all right, to turn aside the needy from judgments and to take away the right from the poor of my people. All right. So let's
Support the people of Ukraine. Her Majesty's ministers will bring forward an energy bill to deliver the transition to cheaper, cleaner, and more secure energy. A bill will enable law inherited from the European Union to be more easily amended. Public sector procurement will be simplified to provide new opportunities for small businesses. Her Majesty's ministers will take action to prevent dangerous and illegal channel crossings and tackle the criminal gangs who profit from facilitating them. The continued success and integrity of the whole of the United Kingdom is of paramount importance to Her Majesty's government, including the internal economic bonds between all of its parts. Her Majesty's government will prioritise support for the Belfast Good Friday Agreement and its institutions, including through legislation to address the legacy of the past. In this year of the Platinum Jubilee, Her Majesty looks forward to the celebrations taking place across the United Kingdom and throughout the Commonwealth.
And they've actually got the Queen's Jubilee going on. There's going to be parties in all these towns. And I'm going to go into some more videos on this because they put the Queen's image all over Stonehenge. So there's a lot going on right here. He just did something by where he was out there and he pretty much and I was going to read Revelations 3, but I might leave it for the next video. But he was they had him like with around celebrities and people that had the Prince's Trust got funding, and basically these people, he was getting worshipped. You know, they started destroying the politicians and that voting in the democracy. And They're gonna bring in all the elite root, the oligarchs, and have everybody bowing down to the elites and Satan directly. So this is where we're at with this, man. Like I said, I'm gonna cut this short, just so you know, because I'm gonna do a longer version, but I really wanted to keep this 10 minutes. So there's more stuff to talk on this, more stuff to show. I'm gonna leave it there as it is, and catch you when I do the live on it. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.